Hello, everyone. This is Alex Javo, the owner and operator of the World Film Championship. I have Brent with me, who is a magnificent filmmaker who made Star Wars Rendezvous. Am I saying that correctly?
Rendezvous. Rendezvous.
Rendezvous.
Yeah.
Sorry, and didn't go to college. But no, it's a fantastic Star Wars fan film. Everyone go watch it. It is well made. Me being a huge Star Wars fan and my partner Matt Tangeman, we were just so thrilled to see this. And so Brent, my question to you is, how did you get in the industry? What led you to this project, Star Wars, and tell us what your favorite episode or show is of Star
Sure.
Wars.
I got interested. I think it goes all the way back till when I was 4 years old. This is going to date me, but my father took me to my grandfather's theater in Taos, New Mexico. And there we saw a little film called Star Wars. That
Beautiful.
was really the beginning. I was so impressed. I don't remember seeing the film, like watching it in the theater, but I remember like walking out of the theater as a 4 year old with my father and just being blown away. I probably hadn't seen very many films in the theater at that age yet, maybe Bambi or something like that. But man, it just overtook me, my young little brain. And for the next several weeks, I grabbed paper and crayons and I began to draw this everything that I had seen on the big screen out on the paper, and we organized it in order. And my mother, because I hadn't write yet, my mother wrote down word for word, as I described the whole story from beginning to end. And I put that together. I still haven't have that. I should have brought that to show you, but that was the beginning for me. Later on, middle school, it actually kind of started towards the end of elementary school. I started thinking about what I wanted to be when I grew up, and like everyone does when they're a kid. And at some point, I realized all the things I wanted to be: the archaeologist, the private investigator, all that stuff was because of what I was watching. And then I realized that I didn't want to be any of those things. I wanted to make things that inspired people and make film and television. And that began the actual journey. I read every single book I could on every filmmaker I could, and um, eventually found my way to today.
Fantastic. I love that it's that your first little film was Star Wars. That's just so great. And that age is just a magical age too, where
And
your imagination is an all-time peak. And seeing a movie like Star Wars, and where Star Wars is just so universally loved, and it just really does stand the test of time. I mean, I got into it because my uncle obviously grew up in the original ones when those came out, and then I grew up with the prequels coming out,
right,
and
right.
now now my nephews are watching these, and so it's and now with
It's a
all the
generational
shows,
thing.
it's generational, and then there's people that like different. I'm so happy to see like the Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, but then there's also Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like because I was into like the Jedi's, so that's Obi-Wan's. That's kind of like more for me, where my uncle loved the uh what's his name, Boba Fett, and so seeing that show, I was gonna say Jango Fett, I'm like wrong one,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, so it's such a staple in our pop culture. And so tell me, what is your favorite Star Wars movie or show? They're both.
That's a hard question to answer because as a huge Star Wars fan from when I was little, Empire Strikes Back has to be my all-time favorite. But it has a category, right? Because it's part of the original trilogy. And
Right.
then you have to look at all the other phases of Star Wars. And to be honest, I'm not a fan of the prequels. My son is, like
Right.
you,
Right.
because that's what he grew up on. That was his first um, introduction to the Star Wars universe. And but you know, and the sequels, hit or miss, right? But I think of the new brand, of the new films, Rogue One stands above all others for me. And I realize spinoff is not part of the trilogy or you know that whole 9-part series, but man, Rogue One is amazing to me, and that was part of the inspiration for making Rendezvous.
Right.
But I also love the TV shows. Andor really struck a chord with me. I loved Andor for its realism and just kind of more gritty nature. I've always been wanting that. And I've watched all, and of course I've watched all the cartoons, the Clone Wars, Rebels,
Yeah.
99. So those have been inspiration, and of course Rendezvous is. I've tried to take all of that in and make it canon so that it could be canon. Now, when I was making it, Ahsoka hadn't been released yet. And since Ahsoka is one of my lead actors, one of the main characters in my film, I was really crossing my fingers that it wouldn't come out and unravel my own thoughts on her character and where I was taking her adventure. And fortunately, it didn't contradict anything I was doing.
Perfect.
So I was happy. I was happy with that. Although, you know, I had no idea which way it was going to go.
Well, I'm pretty sure George Lucas would be proud, man. And it was, you know, for me that grew up on the prequels to see Darth Maul, you know, that was making a spark, yeah, making sparkles. But
That
yeah,
was
I mean,
me.
seeing, huh?
That was
Seeing
me
Darth Maul,
too.
that was you, yeah,
Me. Yeah, I had a kick playing Darth Maul in the film.
yeah,
I hadn't acted. You know, most of my work is as a director of photography or a director, writer director,
sure.
and I haven't done a whole lot of acting other back in high school. I was on the stage a bit, but
You did
I
great.
had to do Darth Maul because there's a tie to my other son. I mentioned the one that loves the prequels, but I guess I had another son. He passed away when he was 7 years old due to cancer, and he loved the prequels as well. And he was 7 years old when he saw Darth Maul for the first time.
Yeah.
Actually, and
Well,
that was his favorite character. So when Stephen passed, I felt that I needed to create a Darth Maul costume to honor him. Joined the 501st. I was already a member of the 501st Legion, a costuming group. But then in writing this film, I knew that I couldn't get another actor to play that role because of Stephen's tie to that character. I just had to do it, and it was a stretch for me, but I've gotten good feedback, so I must have done all right.
you were great, man. I mean, you were coming from a, you know, guy from that generation of the prequels. You did great. You did wonderful. I mean, for us, you know, seeing, you know, Darth Maul in episode one, just like this, because, you know, I mean, the fighting in the originals wasn't, you know, the prequels come out and they're like ninjas flying around. That's because of that first Darth Maul, how he set that up. And so that's what's made him. And then also, you know, going into his backstory, his people, it was really interesting how you brought so much to him and how I forgot the character's name, how she was part of his people kind of thing. And so, but it was, they would be proud of their dad, man. I mean, you know, genuinely speaking, it was fantastic.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good to hear. Gotten really good feedback on YouTube and otherwise. I mean, it was winning a lot of awards.
Yeah.
The most recent one was for the Albuquerque Comic Con. It played at the film festival there and won Best of Show. So
yeah,
now going to be touring with Geek Fest on all the Comic Cons around the U.S., bunch of them, and playing in that festival and yours. I'm really excited for how well it's done.
Yeah, awesome. So what's next for you? Is it just continuing to push this? You have another project going on, another Star Wars project, or?
I would love to do another Star Wars. I would love to do a real Star Wars. So if Lucasfilm, hey, if you're listening, I've got a pitch for you. I honestly do. And I would love to work with Lucasfilm at some point in time. But until that happens, I'm going to keep making films. My next one, I'm actually in pre-production right now. We're going to shoot in a couple weeks. It's another short film called Angelito, and it's about a nine. It's a little more. It's darker than Rendezvous, although Rendezvous did have some darkness to it.
Right.
It's a 9-year-old boy named Angelito. He dreams about becoming a gang member like his older brother until one day he has a tragic accident that changes his life forever, makes him grow up far too fast. About a 10-page script. It's won some awards, Rome Prisma Film Awards, Best Short Film Screenplay, and London Film and TV Festival was a semifinalist recently. So I'm really excited to make that and get that into festivals.
Wow. Hey, even if you're submitting that to us, that'd be awesome. If you don't, I still want to see it.
Cool.
I'm really a fan of yours now, and whatever you do, I'll follow you. And thank you again for coming on here talking to me. Let us know where we can follow you on social media and stuff,
Yeah.
and watch your movies and stuff.
Well, definitely go to YouTube and just you can just search Star Wars Rendezvous. It'll pop right up. Watch it, subscribe. You can check out my website, antigravityfilms.com. And I've got a projects page there, and you can watch everything that's in development right now. I've got a few things other than Angelito as well. I'm working on some feature film screenplays as well. So
Excellent.
lots to come.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much again, and all the luck to you with all your endeavors. And I really am a huge supporter of Rendezvous and all your stuff, man. Looking forward to
Thank
seeing it.
you. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
Yeah. All right, Brent. Thank you so much, man. Bye.